If you've been watching Emerald Point N.A.S., then you see this young man. His name is Richard Dean Anderson, and he plays Lieutenant Simon Adams.
Very good.
Now, the interesting thing about Richard Dean Anderson is he's from Minnesota, up there by the good Svensson.
Yeah, sure, you bet, you sneakums.
And he was playing hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, he was a good hockey player. He was so good he broke both of his arms.
That's how good I was.
But I tell you what, in spite of the fact that he broke both of his arms, this guy, who had never played racquetball before in his life, beat me playing racquetball in not to a pulp.
Oh, you're right.
But you see, you weren't being completely honest with me, because you didn't say I'm an outstanding tennis player.
I'm not an outstanding tennis. I've never played tennis before in my life.
That is not true. I heard that you hadn't.
No, I hadn't until after that, and then I started doing all these tennis tournament celebrity things, and I had to learn or not survive. But racquetball, that made more sense to me because we didn't have to chase the ball. It always came back to you eventually.
That's a nice thing about it.
You survived very well.
Well, listen, for picking it up as quickly as you did and embarrassing me the way you did, I won't hold it against you.
It'll never happen again until next time.
Okay, all right. You do look very militaristic here.
Sort of. I'm a mishmash of...
Well, where'd you get that jacket? It looks like something from the 50s.
Well, earlier than that if it was going to be authentic. But it's actually a replica, and I'm sorry to have to admit this, but it's a new leather jacket that's been sandblasted.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I wish I could really romanticize the whole thing and lie through my teeth about it. Next time I probably will, but it's just a stressed-out jacket.
Is that a new fashion look? I mean, to take something new and make it look old?
I guess, yeah. I just didn't have the time to sit around and wait for it to soften up. Time's a waste in here, for heaven's sake.
Well, listen, Richard Dean Anderson, we just saw you in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, a short-lived series on CBS.
Yeah.
What happened to that show?
I don't think it focused quite right. Didn't really get its hook into any particular audience for any length of time. It didn't have a focus. It didn't know which way to go. I think that's what happened. I'm trying to be as objective about it as possible. It couldn't make a decision whether it be a song and dance thing, a musical comedy, or just strictly episodic, or perpetual, or what. So it didn't warrant a second season. The ratings didn't perpetuate too nicely.
Well, how's Emerald Point coming?
I'm having a ball doing it. Finally got a character that's got a vice. Because I played General Hospital was Jeff Weber, and he was squeaky clean, a nice guy. And Adam McFadden on Seven Brides had dimples 4 miles wide. Now, Simon Adams is touted as the white knight and the hero type, the fighter jock, but he's sleeping with a married woman. Whew, thank goodness.
Finally it's come. You know, there's been a scene recently, a development, where you're in the airplane and you're responsible for the death of your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're really responsible or whether you just feel guilty and responsible.
Yeah.
To a safe homecoming. And nobody could be more grateful than I am. Except, of course, maybe you.
And me. Oh, Simon, I really love you very much. Even though I don't always remember to show you.
Yeah, I know. Simon, it wasn't your fault. You used excellent judgment. The ejection seat malfunctioned. You had nothing to do with that.
It's wrong, Dad. I had everything to do with it. I ordered him to eject.
Well, that's a tragedy nobody's denying. But instead of saving your own skin, you made a decision to save your plane. Now, that was heroic.
Dad, you really don't know what you're talking about. That man ejected out of a jet plane. He fell 5,000 feet into the ocean. He knew it was coming. Do you really have any idea what kind of terror that man must have felt in his heart? My God, I wish it had been me.
Simon, you don't mean that.
Yes, I do.
You were every inch an officer in that crisis.
Dad, he was my friend. He trusted me. If I said blue, he saw blue. If I said go, he went. He believed in me, in my judgment. And now he's dead.
Simon, it's not your fault.
Of course it isn't. Now pull yourself together. Your self-induced depression isn't going to do you any good.
Oh, better him than me, is that it? Well, that's not me, Pop. And it's certainly not Navy.
Son, I'm not suggesting you don't grieve for your friend, but I won't allow you to take his death as a failure on your part.
Like it or not, I have failed. Harlan Adams' son missed it by a mile.
It's something I've been thinking about for quite a while. I guess now is as good a time as any to bring it up. I think you should consider resigning your commission.
And come to work for you?
No, not to work for me. To assume your position as the heir apparent. I'm not going to be around forever. I'd like to have my son uphold the tradition.
You know how I feel about working at Adams Industries.
Well, I'd like to change your mind.
Well, you're not going to, so stop trying.
I'd like my son to help run my empire. I'm sorry.
You know what I wanted you to do? When they told you that your friend was dead, and you were given that information, and you stood there in front of the mirror and looked at yourself, I wanted you to cry. I said, Dean, come on. Cry. As a human being, cry. What emotions?
Tune in next week, see what happens.
Can you cry?
Not real easily, as a matter of fact. I just, I left home at an early age, and you've heard this whole story before, but got on the road and all that, so it was a matter of learning how to survive very early on at a very young age. Had to become responsible real quickly, including on an emotional level. So I have a tendency to be very protective of that. It always loomed as a weakness to me, and to become weak when you're out on your own like that as a little floundering youth. It tended not to perpetuate your survival instincts too readily. So I haven't really gotten over that hump yet, but yeah, it gets close.
But as an actor,
that's what I'm talking about on camera. You know, I cry off camera all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Not all the time.
I'm
basically a happy guy. Yeah. But
I, as a viewer, wanted you to do. I wanted you to do that. I wanted you to cry.
Why throw it all? You know, why show it all at once? I mean, you got to gauge these things. I mean, things get a little messier next week.
Well, you're playing with some pretty terrific established actors: Dennis Weaver, Maude Adams. Are you picking up any tricks from them?
No.
Just to
well,
observe.
actually, I should learn from Dennis how to negotiate a contract, because he's got a mobile home.
Oh, yes?
Oh, gosh, he's the only one, so.
Well, where do you get to dress?
In a little room, little cubby hole where your wallet gets stolen and stuff like that. Get through the cockroach. It's not that bad. It's just a little Spartan, basically, is what we're dealing with.
Well, Richard Dean Anderson in real life plays and he sings. You're going to be able to use your musical background on Emerald Point at all?
Not on Emerald Point, no. What I'm hoping they'll do is start tapping my athletic prowess, I guess, because I have more fun doing it. I don't tout myself as a musician, you know that. And it's I had fun fulfilling a fantasy as a rock and roll star some time ago, but my father was a musician. I was the son of a musician, they say.
Well, good luck in this series.
Thanks.
It's a good series. There are a lot of interesting things happening. Beautiful people involved, a lot of money.
Intrigue, sex.
Oh, no.
Yeah, can I say that? Yeah.
You've said it. The die is cast. The deed is done.
Yeah, it's. I hope the ratings warrant a continuing future.
Well, good luck to you, Richard Dean Anderson.
Thank you.
The Svenska, you're okay. You're okay. And hang in there with the racquetball. The best sport, one of the best sports going.
Yeah,
okay?
it's getting there.
Okay. Emerald Point N.A.S. Richard Dean Anderson is his name. Please stay tuned. 10:11 Morning continues.